Welcome back, and joining me for a closer look at what's played out on the market scene today is Towell from Sasfin Wealth. Thank you so much for your time, Robert. I must say that I'm pleasantly surprised with what is happening with the rand at the moment, trading at below 17 rand 60 against the US dollar. It's been gradually strengthening. What is responsible for that? Is it the commodity kind of boom that we are seeing at the moment?
Yeah, so a general weaker dollar across the board, and then commodities have been really firmer. You saw some of the production on the mining side of platinum, and obviously that platinum price has really moved up. Gold has held up, so that's really helping the rand, going forward as we export those commodities. And then the GNU's held up again after a few stresses, and President has removed one minister, fired another. So there is a little bit of action happening there, and still there's cohesion there. So I think that's positive for the rand as well, but I'd say probably driven mostly by commodity prices at the moment.
All right. Well, Rob, let's take a look at some of the company news that came out. Of course, the first one that came out today with a year-end trading statement and production update was Sasol. The company achieving guidance in most metrics. There was an improvement, of course, that they were talking about, but the company still dealing with some unplanned disruptions. I did see that stock, after days of rallying, down about 6% on the day. Were the markets just not satisfied with that update?
So, I think on the operational level, coal was still down 5%. The oil division was down 6.6% on the production side. Chemicals was down as well. So all of them were slightly down on operational level. So I think the market was expecting slightly better there. Then they're going to say that they had a loss in the last period, and now they say that earnings will be at least 20% higher. So that was positive. But then they did come in and say that they could have other write-offs. And I think the market's getting tired of consistently they're making improvements, they're getting the business running better, they're making slight margin improvements. The chemical business looks like it's got a trough in chemical prices and starting to look better. And then they say a sentence like that where they say there could be further write-downs like we saw in the previous year, so in the previous set of numbers. So I think that's the problem, and I think the market was a bit unhappy with that statement, and you saw it sell off quite aggressively today. The market as a whole had quite good volume throughout today. It did above 23 billion rand.
Yeah.
So there was volume, and there was volume through Sasol as well. So you could see that the sentiment was definitely on the sell side.
All right. Well, let's talk about Raynet. The investment holding company put out a management statement for the quarter ended June. Of course, it's a day after they gave us more detail gave us detail on their net asset value figure. Today, they gave us more information on the investment commitments and dividends received. What can you tell us about that information?
Well, really, it's about the sale of Pension Corp overseas, and they sold that for a price which is a really good price, but it was a lower level than they had on the books. So they had to write down their net asset value by the amount they're going to be getting for that transaction, and that's going to happen, in the first quarter of 2026. And really, that's after that sale, it's really going to be mainly a cash shell because it's going to be sitting with so much cash and relatively small investments left. So the business everybody's still waiting to see what they're going to do. Is there going to be a special dividend? Are they going to return it all to shareholders, or are they going to have another really big large investment? So I think they had to readjust their net asset value there. But it's going to be a wait and see period now for Raynet shareholders. I wouldn't be a seller here, but I don't think you're going to see any fireworks either on the upside. So I think a stable investment for now, and we'll have to wait to see if they're going to make a very big purchase or not.
Well, Rob, shareholders that are happy are Adcock Ingram shareholders. The company put out a cautionary announcement after market close 1725, saying that they've entered into discussions regarding a potential transaction, which, of course, if successful, could have a material impact on the share price. What can you say about that? That's surged about 10%.
Yes, it did go up 10%. They've had a bad first half of the year. Their first quarter numbers were really weak. The flu season was, started relatively late as well. So their numbers into the flu season were weak. So they've been showing, they've come down from probably a high of around 70 rand all the way down into the low 50s, actually early 40s. They've had a really bad start to the year, but it is a really good business. A strong rand also helps them. importing the components for all of their medicines. And now they've come out with the statement to say that somebody is looking to buy them. Obviously, Bidvest own a huge portion of Adcock Ingram. I think Bidvest would like to, clean up their book as well. They've been trying to focus on assets that they really can add value to. And I don't think that fits Adcock Ingram. So Bidvest obviously looking to exit that. And this is a positive for shareholders in Adcock Ingram. We'll have to see, who is the bidder. So we'd like to see some more information, where they'll be able to pay up for this business.
All right. Well, what are you paying up for today? Your stock pick, Rob?
I'm staying where I normally am, which is around the South African banks. They haven't had a great few days, but I think that there's still value there. I think they're going to be paying you very good dividends, and my pick there is still FirstRand.
Okay.
With the caveat that there is a deal, a court case coming in the UK. If that goes in their favour, I think you're going to see a really good rally on the share. And if it doesn't, the share will sell off slightly, but you're still going to get that dividend. And locally, they're a very strong bank at the moment, and I think they'll carry on growing earnings. So that's my stock pick.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and for your analysis on what has moved investors' money today, Rob. That was Robert Towell from Sasfin Wealth.